Okay. Lovely. So we've got some newbies to yoga in today, newbies to the studio. So welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining. So for those of you that are new to forest yoga, it's not about doing forest in the trees or the woodland. Forest is from a lady called Anna Forrest, who devised forest yoga from very ancient techniques that has made it more for the modern, more Western day bodies, where we all have weaker cores and bad backs and tight shoulders and tense bodies. Okay, so we do a little bit more focus into the deeper core structure, which will help us to breathe a little bit more fully and a bit more with a bit more strength and engagement to the diaphragm. And also the connection to the core muscles, these transverse abdominals that wrap around the lower part of the core, this sort of corset part of the abdomen that wrap around to support the lower back space as well. So where lots of people have sort of, so many people have lower back pain and things nowadays, that can be a lot to do with just weakness in the core, not supporting the structure of the spine. Also, a combination with tightness around the hips can create a lot of compression around lower back, or are very linear. We rarely sit, on the floor a lot. So we do a lot of hip opening, a lot of core strengthening, and a lot of focus on releasing tension from the neck or the jaw. So if any of you have done other yoga practices before, we often keep the neck fairly engaged with looking up a lot. And not that that's wrong in any way. We also need to have strong neck muscles. But it just mixes up habit. So there's a lot of cues to relax the neck, relax the jaw and the forehead, as we tend to have this more habitual way to carry tension around the face and the clenched jaw and the tight shoulders and brace. So just to give you a kind of overview of where we'll be focusing into. All right, so we'll start seated in any comfortable way that you want to be started. Your block, if we actually bring that underneath the sit bones, let's make life a bit more comfortable for ourselves to start with. So if you want another block or two blocks, just raise a hand, I'll bring anything to you. If it's not comfortable on the block, feel free to ignore that. Okay. Cool. I'll try and make sure you can all see me somewhere. Okay, bring the hands to your knees or to the thighs, just wherever the arms feel at most ease. So just let the shoulders drop. Okay, and I'll invite you to close your eyes, but if it feels more comfortable or less confronting to just keep your gaze low to the floor, then by all means do. If your gaze is low to the floor, then focus on what we call a drishti spot, a gaze spot of something steady to really focus into. We just want to allow our senses to come fully onto ourselves. We're less distracted with the world around us. Imagine your whole world is within the four edges of the mat. And try to have a real sense of yourself, of your physical body on the mat. Perhaps you notice any areas of tension that you could perhaps soften into. You draw the sit bones a bit heavier in towards the block or the ground beneath them. Allow the tailbone and the sacrum, which is the back of the pelvis, just to soften downwards away from the back of the ribs. Imagine then the rib cage telescoping upwards slightly away from the pelvis. It might be a very subtle sensation or even maybe imaginary. And same, imagining the head lifting slightly higher away from the shoulders, lengthening through the back of the neck. And keep that height running through the spine, but again, maybe soften the shoulders. Keeping the lips slightly closed, but soften the hinge of the jaw. So there's maybe a bit of space between the back teeth. And if the eyes are closed, then allow your focus point to rest to the center of the forehead. And now notice your breath. Maybe you notice it's moving a little clearer through one side of your nose than the other. We try to keep the breath through the nose unless I guide you otherwise. When we're breathing through the nose, we connect to a nerve line through the throat, that connects directly into the diaphragm. So feel the breath come through the nose into the belly, into the lowest part of the belly that you can sense into. So each time you're inhaling, there's a gentle expansion and softening of the abdomen. And as you exhale, you feel the lower belly drawing in and up towards the spine. So there's a slight awareness of the pelvic floor. As you exhale, try to avoid collapsing through the height of the spine. So the exhale actually carries a bit more strength to it. If you empty right to the end of the exhale, feel how the core will naturally engage. I feel the motion of the breath move into the ribs as well, the sides of the ribs. So you're breathing wide into the torso. Feel the breath move into the back and the chest. So your torso moves as this full cylinder of breath. Now keep the breath moving through the nose, but allow it to feel a little bit more audible in the throat. It's like there's a soft whisper in the back of the throat. They call that your ujjayi breath. Start to build a little bit more strength on each round of breath that you take. So each round feels fuller, richer, and more intentional. And next time you inhale, hold the breath at the very top of the inhale. So when your lungs are full, hold the breath. And I just want you to hold the breath for as long as it feels kind of interesting for you. So there's no force or struggle with it. You kind of reach that end point, exhale all the way out, but think growing taller through the back of the spine. Just take about 2 or 3 more rounds with that in your own pace. So full inhale, holding the breath to the point before struggle. Maybe this is your last round. So after your exhale, just allow the breath to return to its natural rhythm again. Just notice maybe a sense of grounding in the body, a grounding of the mind. It only takes about 30 seconds of slower, more intentional breathing for our chemistry of our body to settle, a blood pressure to drop, a heart rate to slow down. So just notice for those sensations. As you next inhale, lift the shoulders right up towards your ears. So switch on the upper shoulders, lift them high. Now hold the breath again and squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. And as you exhale, try and slide the shoulder blades down your back. Again, inhale, lift the shoulders up towards your ears. Hold the breath, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And as you exhale, slide the shoulder blades down. Let's do once more. Inhale, shoulders rise. Hold the breath, squeeze the shoulder blades. And exhale, slide the shoulder blades down. Good. Just gently blinking the eyes open. We're going to take the left leg out to your side, maybe just a little bit wider than your mat. It doesn't have to go dramatically into splits. Okay, keep the right heel tucked in towards the groin. Good, maybe just go slightly wider than your mat. So if you can go a bit wider, turning with your foot, great. Good. Your left hand just resting out to the side, so the fingertips are just supporting you in line with the hip on the floor. Right arm lifts up to the ceiling. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, lean yourself over towards the glass door side of the room, towards the right. Good. Now use the hand that's on the floor to root down through that your right sit bone closer towards the floor. So you're elongating the space around the right side of the ribs. Good. Now think your chest, not your arm, lifting open a little bit more towards the ceiling. So imagine the center of the chest, sternum just looking up slightly. Again, it might be very subtle motion. Straighten out through that right arm and active through the hand as well. So reach out through the fingertips. Now allow your head to completely drop down towards the left shoulder, as though your head has fallen asleep. Relax the jaw into that as well. And then just your upper hand, your right hand, is going to reach the opposite way. So you're going to reach over towards the right side of the room, palm facing the floor and the hand just slightly lower than your shoulder. So reach out through those fingertips as far as you can so that you feel the distance lengthen between the head of the shoulder and your earlobe, the side of the neck. Again, so you can keep the jaw relaxed into it. And you use the left hand on the ground to keep you as supported as you need here. So if you want to take it over further, you can let your body drop. If you want to stay more upright into it, that's absolutely fine too. And like we did with those shoulder rolls, we're just going to do with this right shoulder. So as you inhale, bring the head of the right shoulder towards your ear. Take a deep breath in. Now hold the breath and try and move that shoulder blade towards your spine. And as you exhale, reach further away through the shoulder and out through those fingertips. Let's take that again. Inhale, bring that shoulder towards your ear. Hold the breath, squeeze shoulder blade towards the spine. And exhale, slide the shoulder blade down and further away. Good. And let the hand just soften down to your side and roll the chin towards your chest. Pick the body back up straight. Your left hand is going to come around towards the right knee and the right hand is slightly behind you. So we're just taking a soft twist. Inhale, lengthen tall through your back. And as you exhale, think shoulders turning, rib cage turning, and the abdominal squeezing inwards towards the spine. Again, inhale, lengthen really tall. And as you exhale, pull belly to the spine. Try to keep rooted through the left sit bone. So the one that's trying to peel up off the floor. Good, keep it down. Nice. Just slowly unravel. Do your shoulders to face the front again. And we're just going to take that to the other side. So switch the legs over. So right leg extends and left heel in. If you would rather come off your block for this, of course, feel free to. So your right hand is just out at the side to support you and your left hand lifting up to the ceiling. Take a deep breath in, use the arm to create space, and then exhale, lean it over towards the side. And again, you can stay as upright or as deep into that as you want to. If you have dropped down a little bit deeper, just check in with the underneath side of the torso, creating a bit more space. So see if you can lengthen the right side of the ribs out a little bit more. Yeah, good. Use the hand that's on the ground, your right hand, to stay rooted through the left sit bone, left buttock to the floor. Good, now let your head drop heavily towards the right shoulder. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, reach the left hand out towards the left side of the room, palm facing the floor, spread the fingers open. Good, and try to encourage more space between the ear and the head of the shoulder. So really reach out through the arm. Good, relax into the jaw and the forehead with that too. It's okay if you dribble on yourself a little bit, it's okay. All right, so then we take 2 shoulder rolls just with this left side. So as you inhale, bring the head of the left shoulder towards your ear. Hold the breath and try and move the shoulder blade towards the spine. As you exhale, reach the hand further away, draw more space between shoulder and ear. Good, again, inhale, shoulder towards ear. Hold the breath, shoulder blade to spine. Exhale, reach further away through the arm, find more space in the neck. Good. Gently roll the chin towards your chest, soften that left hand down and bring your spine back up straight. And we come into the spiral. So your right hand is going to come to the bent knee and the left hand just hops behind you to keep you upright. So as you inhale, lengthen tall through your back. And as you exhale, pull the lower abdominals in, ribs in, shoulders are turning. Just notice if you can soften into the neck, so you're not using the neck muscles to try and muscle round into it too much. Keep the chin almost in line with the center of the chest. Good. Take another full breath where you are. Stay rooting down through that right sit bone. Good. And then slowly unraveling and bring both feet to the floor. If you're on your block, just pop that down to one side. Okay, we're going to come into abdominals. So I'm just going to show you first where we're going with it. So soles of the feet are going to be coming together. And so we'll have this natural arch in the back. The fingertips are going to reach to the ceiling. If you want to take a little bit more weight into it, take your block. Please do not drop the block on your nose. They are quite heavy. Keep pushing the block up to the ceiling so the shoulders stay engaged. It kind of keeps that sense of lifting. So you're taking a full breath in. I want you to exaggerate that motion of breathing into the belly and the ribs. As you exhale, the feet push together. So you'll slightly help to tuck the tailbone and bring the lower back towards the floor. We're encouraging these lower abdominals, these transverse abdominals I mentioned, to pull towards the ground. So you're pulling in as your arms are pushing up, so you stay connected. It softens this sense of bracing. So as we tend to work in the core, the tendency seems to be that people want to brace this way, which is pushing. We want to pull in and down to stay engaged. So we support the spine rather than push tension. It's actually quite harmful for the spine if you have lower back pain. To be bracing outwards kind of puts pressure on the spine. If you're pulling down and in, you're supporting the structure, and the rest of the body has a little bit more motion around it. So let's start with that. So if you come down to the floor with or without your block, it's up to you. And it's okay if this is kind of new to you, if it doesn't make sense today. If you're getting your brain to the lower abdominals, you're doing the work. So soles of the feet together, knees open. You can just give your knees a little rock side to side there if you need to. So just keep the arms pressing upwards towards the ceiling and take a really full breath in to the ribs and lower belly. Okay, and as you exhale, all I want you to do is breathe out and pull the abdominals towards the floor. Notice if they want to brace outwards. Good. Inhale again, expand into the belly and the ribs. And exhale, reach up through the hands and down through the lower abdomen. You can press the feet together to help you, but try to keep the buttocks fairly relaxed so they don't steal the work. Inhale, again, exaggerate the breath into the belly. Exhale, push up through the arms, down through the lower abdomen. Good, just fully breathe out. The core will do the motion. Good, once more, inhale. And exhale, reach up through the hands, down through the abdomen. Soften around the jaw, the neck. Good. Now take the block to one side. Option to stay with this if you want to build into it another level more. We're going to take the hands to interlace around the back of the head. Head starts on the ground, but the elbows point up towards the ceiling. So you're cradling the head. So your forearms are almost against your temples. I want you to really support the weight of your head. So having a tense neck is not going to give you a stronger core. So take a full inhale, head is on the ground. As you exhale, exactly as you've just done, press the feet together, pull the abdominals down, and then lift the armpits, the head, and the shoulders up off the floor. Think going to the ceiling rather than forwards. Good. Inhale, unravel, head to the ground. Exhale, again, pull the abdominals downwards and lift the armpits up. Notice when you lift the head, if the abdominals then want to brace, okay, come shallower into it if it helps. Keep it going at your own breath pace for a few more rounds. Focus abdominals coming down. It doesn't matter how high you lift your head. Keep the neck supported. Pull abdominals inwards. Good. Maybe take two more if we can. Good. Notice if the glutes, the buttocks want to take the tension for you. Try and keep glutes fairly relaxed. There will be some engagement there. Good. Nice. Next time you bring your head towards the floor, just resting. Point the knees back up to the ceiling and open the elbows wide so the chest feels open. Just give the knees a gentle rock side to side. Just massage your lower back to the floor. Good. And then we're going to come into straddle or frog leg abdominals as well. So if you're working with any sort of lower back pain today or any hip injury, then just repeat the same exercise that you've just done. Okay, you're still engaging the same thing. We're just going to up level it a little bit more. So frog legs, we're going to start with head on the floor, elbows pointing up and knees in line with the hips. I'm going to just show you one round. As you exhale, you're going to lift the armpits to the ceiling and open the knees out to the side. It's a really glamorous abdominal work. You pull the lower belly in, down, and lift the armpits upwards. You're engaging through your back here as part of the core as well. We're going to stay for an extra breath just to make sure you really feel the pulling down rather than the bracing up. And if you can see the bracing upwards and the pulling down of the lower abdomen. All right, so we start with knees over hips if you're coming with me. Activate through your toes, so the toes are splaying open like Barbie feet. That's the donkey singing to you. Take a deep breath in, elbows pointing to ceiling. Exhale, open knees out to the sides, in line with your hips, not closer to your shoulders, and lift the armpits to ceiling. Now stay where you are, take another inhale. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone again to help you pull lower belly down and armpits further up. Inhale, back to the center, knees together, head to the floor. Exhale again, lift head and shoulders up, knees open. Avoid the knees coming towards your shoulders, keep them in line with the hips. Stay where you are, breathe in. And exhale, just deepen into the feeling of it. So belly pulls down, armpits lift up, press the lower back into the floor. Inhale to reset. So let's do 2 more rounds. Exhale, knees out, armpits lift, pull lower belly down. Stay where you are, breathe in again. Exhale, pull lower belly inwards, lift the armpits further upwards, soften around the jaw and the forehead. Inhale, come back to the start, last one. Exhale, curling up, open knees in line with the hips, send your knees forwards a little bit, Smina. Yeah, good. Pull lower back down. Take another deep inhale. Exhale, lower back pushes into the floor. Lift the armpits up. Stay active through the toes. Inhale, come back to the start and place the feet down to the floor. Elbows wide. Good. Give the knees a little rock side to side. Did that work? Can we feel our lower bellies? Yeah, good. Okay, good. Okay, so we're going to come into bridge pose from here. So keep the feet hips distance apart, heels kind of in line with the sit bones, and have the hands just resting to the sides of the body with the palms facing up to the ceiling. So we want your arms to stay really relaxed while we're coming to bridge. Take a full breath into your belly. And as you exhale, lift the hips up towards the ceiling, reach the knees forward so they stay over the ankles rather than splay out to the sides as they may want to. Keep tucking the tailbone. So the glutes are active and you're reaching your tailbone towards the fold of your knees. So although technically you're in back bend here, imagine you are trying not to back bend. So sending the front of the pelvis to the ceiling and soften the rib cage inwards towards the abdominals. So again, you feel for that connection like you did in the abdominal work. Just keep breathing into it. So strong in the core, strong in the legs. Soft around the jaw, the forehead, the shoulders. Good. Now lift the hands up to the ceiling like you did with the block. Reach them up as high as you can. And as you exhale, lengthen the arms all the way back behind you. So the back of the hands come to the floor, fingernails to the floor. It's okay if your butts are burning a little bit. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, fingertips stay reaching back, but roll your spine slowly towards the floor. One bone at a time. So your tailbone will be the last thing to touch the floor. Good, Joe. When you are grounded, take your time, there's no rush, but bring the hands back down to the sides of the body. We're just going to come into bridge once more. So take a full breath in to prepare. As you exhale, float the hips back up towards the ceiling like you're peeling the spine off the floor. Knees reach forwards, tailbone reaches forwards. Press into the back of the shoulders a little bit, see if you can find more space around the chest without that tensing into the jaw. Lift the hands to the ceiling, take a really deep breath in. And as you exhale, lengthen the hands back behind you, fingernails to the ground. Spread the fingers open. Now pause there for another breath. Keep knees reaching forwards. Make sure you can feel all 10 toes on the floor so the big toe hasn't started to roll off the ground. Keep it rooted. Good. Take another really deep breath in. And as you exhale, slowly bring the hips towards the floor. Bring your pelvis closer to your feet as you lengthen down. So you're lengthening through the torso and the tailbone is last. Good. Again, whenever you are grounded, bring the knees in towards your chest. And then you're going to keep the right knee with you. Hug that hands around the shin and then slide the left leg away again down the mat. So left leg straight, right knee to your chest. Take a really deep inhale. As you exhale, squeeze the right thigh closer towards the rib cage and push out through the left heel. So you're creating as much distance as you can between right knee and left foot. Again, take another deep breath into that. And gently, in your own time, switch the legs over to take that to the other side. So left thigh hugs in, right leg pushes away. And a couple of deep breaths just to create more space between knee and foot. Good. And then bring both knees back in towards your chest again. Take a little rock side to side just to massage your lower back into the floor. And then either rock and roll yourself up to seated or roll over to one side and press yourself up. We're coming over to all fours. So however feels good to get there. Bring yourself over to hands and knees. And palms spread open into the ground, as wide as you can. So we stay open through the wrist ligaments. Good, and just padding through one hand and then the other, like you're just stretching out the palms and the fingers. So just transferring the weight from one hand to the other hand. So just get into the palms a little bit and the wrists. Good, and then level out through both of them. So nice and long through the spine, push the floor away so the shoulder blades are broad, so there's slight engagement through the shoulders. Just feel for the difference. If you sink the chest to the ground, feel quite lazy in the shoulders, shoulder blades will squeeze together. And then push the floor away so the shoulder blades broaden out and the arms feel a bit stronger. Good, again, just sink into the shoulders, so your shoulders squeeze towards each other. Good, and then push into the floor away. Good. Lou, can you bring your palms to the floor rather than elbows? Awesome. Good. So from here, take the tailbone to the ceiling, coming towards a back bend, so chest looking forwards, tailbone lifting up. And as you exhale, round the spine, so let the breath initiate the movement. So pull the belly up to push the spine to the ceiling. Inhale again, let it unravel your back towards a back bend, so ribs are expanding. And as you exhale, pull belly to spine, let it push your spine towards the ceiling. Squeeze the rib cage in. Good. Inhale again, come into back bend and lean forwards towards the fingertips. As you exhale, pull belly to spine and lean the hips slightly towards your heels. Tuck the chin to the chest. Inhale, come forwards and open to the back bend. And exhale, rounding back, hinging the weight towards the heels. Good. Once more, forwards and open through the chest and the ribs. Exhale, belly to spine, press the weight back towards your heels. Good, now sit all the way down towards your feet and bring the hands towards your thighs. You're kneeling, either sat onto the shins, or if it's more comfortable for your knees and feet, higher kneeling is totally fine. Just gonna come into the shoulders, so a little bit like you did when we started the session, shoulder blades squeezing towards each other. We're coming into it a little bit more articulated. So the hands are out in front of you, spread the fingers open. Stand so you can see on Zoom. Good. So spread fingers open and almost try and curl the fingertips towards the floor. So you're really stretching through the hands. Shoulders stay down and comfortable, but the elbows are pressing in towards the lowest rib. Try and almost put your yoga glue in between them so they don't move. So you're going to breathe in wide into your upper back. So feel the shoulder blades spread open. And as you exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other so you can pull the arm bones back, but keep the shoulders down and the ribs in. Notice if you're wanting to cheat it to back bend here. Yes. Inhale, breathe wide into upper back. And as you exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together, pull the thumbs back, spread open through the fingers, keep the shoulders down, ribs in. Inhale, breathe wide into upper back. Elbows to ribs, even more. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together, shoulders down. Elbows to ribs, ribs in. Good. Inhale, let's do two more. Exhale again, squeeze the shoulder blades together, ribs down, elbows in. Good, lower the hands a bit, Laura, if you can. Inhale, breathe wide into upper back. Last one, exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades, spread the fingers open, squeeze the elbows to ribs and ribs into abdomen. Good. Inhale, good, breathe wide and soften the hands back out in front of you again. Good, so drop onto the elbows now, so you are on the forearms. Forearms can come in towards each other slightly if it's more comfortable in your shoulders, but I want your elbows to stay underneath your shoulders. So if you just fold your arms in, you can kind of hold onto your guns. Leave your elbows there and then repivot them back out again. Elbows down, good. Now again, like you did on all fours, push open through the shoulder blades. So you're pushing the ground away. Let the neck completely relax into that. So the gaze is towards your knees. Tuck the toes underneath. Take a really deep breath in. And as you exhale, lift the knees off the floor, the hips up towards the ceiling. So you come towards Dolphin Pose. Keep pushing the ground away. Imagine you're shoving a big heavy box out of your way with your arms. You're pushing the mat away. Try to keep the neck relaxed. And then feel for the breath again, coming into your belly, into your ribs, and into your back. So as you're exhaling, you're still drawing the ribs in and belly to spine. Take 2 more really deep breaths. Good, and slowly bring the knees down towards the floor. Just bring your gaze towards me. So from here, you're either going to repeat Dolphin Pose again. If that felt enough work in the shoulders and the core and just enough for today, then go with that again. I want you to focus more on bending the knees so your hamstrings connect into the lower back. So if hamstrings are feeling tight and we're trying to straighten the legs, it's going to round your back. I would rather you have a straight spine and bent legs. So bending the knees is going to let your spine lengthen. If we try and straighten tight legs, it pulls the spine. Does that make sense? It kind of is one or the other sometimes. So bend the knees and get this tailbone up. If you want to take a little bit more into it, take oil riggers. You're going to lift one leg up as you inhale, and then exhale. The contraction of the abdominals pulls the leg halfway down towards the floor. So feeling in for, if you're coming into oil, you can see that. So breathing in expands the belly, and the exhale, pulling belly to spine, hinges the leg down. So it's that contraction that pulls the leg. Inhale, expands it, and exhale, pulls it in. Okay, so if you're taking these oil riggers, we call them, do about 3 on either side, 4 on either side in your own pace. Clear on Zoom? Thumbs up, that's good. Good, so just feel into that. So either you're holding Dolphin with no legs floating anywhere, or you're taking the oil riggers. Take what you need from it. Good. Much better, Gail. That's just your spine. Good. Ribs in. Don't think about kicking the leg up and down if you're taking oil riggers. Think about opening and contracting the core. Ribs in. Exhale. Yeah, good. Once you've done kind of 3 or 4 either side, if you're moving the leg, Sue, keep the leg straight on that one. So you can just rest back into kneeling. Nice, Julie. Really good. So bring yourself back towards kneeling if you aren't already. Obviously, just even yourself out a little bit. Nicely, good. Does that make sense? Again, it's one of those things, it's okay if it doesn't make sense, if the abs connecting to the limbs, but we're kind of trying to engage the core to move the rest of the body rather than limbs moving detached from the core. So it's okay if it doesn't make sense today. You're still getting that sort of neurological connection, a little bit of torso being the sort of center point, the breath being the center point. All movement is initiated from breath because our diaphragm has to move. So our diaphragm connects onto the spine, and if our spine is rigid and braced or not working, then the rest of the body has to work a different way. So the breath is always the center of everything. So from here, come into a downward facing dog, so palms open wide still, and still feeling that open space between the shoulder blades. So again, push the floor away. Same thing with the hamstrings. If it feels just more comfortable, particularly sometimes in the morning practice, having a bend in the knees just feels a bit more settling in the body, I suppose. So just play around with it. And never mind if your legs are straight or bent. If your spine is lengthened, then that is more correct, in my opinion. Good. So take a couple of deeper breaths, have a bit of movement into it. If you just want to swing the hips side to side a little bit, or press one heel down, press the other heel down, a bit of a stretch, a bit of a flow. Take a really deep inhale through your nose, and as you exhale, sigh through the mouth, pull the rib cage in. Good. And then inhale through the nose, and through the nose as you exhale, feel the same movement, ribs to spine. Good. Now roll the body forwards towards a plank position, pushing the ground away. As you exhale, bring the knees to the floor, gaze forward slightly, keep the elbows hugging in towards the rib cage as you place the torso down without face planting. Very good, nice. Now lengthen the toes back behind you. So actively reach back through the legs, tuck the tailbones. We're going to switch buttocks on, push pubic bone into the floor. Roll the shoulder blades towards each other and down your back, and then lift the chest lightly. Just do low cobra. Squeeze the elbows further into the ribs and pull the elbows back so you keep space between shoulders and ears. Take another inhale. Really good. Exhale, imagine chest coming forwards and back down to the floor. Good. So like little cobra push-ups. Take the hands a little bit further forwards of your shoulders. Roll the shoulders down the back and lift the chest. Inhale. As you exhale, pull the mat towards you so your chest comes further forwards and down towards the floor. Good. Once more. Inhale, roll the shoulders down your back. Maybe lift the hands off the floor for a moment. Squeeze the elbows towards each other. Hands back to the floor like you're grabbing hold of it to pull you further forwards and back down to the mat. Exhaling. Good. Hands directly under the shoulders. Elbows stay in. Push up to all fours. Inhale. And fold back to child's pose as you exhale. Come back up to all fours, breathing in. Tuck the toes and come into downward facing dog. Exhale. Either with a bend in the knees or legs straight as you prefer. From your downward dog, take a little bend into the elbows. You're not bringing the elbows to the mat. You're just going to hover them off the floor. Pull the elbows towards each other. So inner elbows, like there's a magnet between them, pulling them in towards each other. Upper arm bones pulling towards each other. It will feel like hard work. That is the point. Relax your neck into it. Relax your jaw into it. Keep the palms spread open. Just sort of you make sure your index finger knuckle is planted into the floor. Good. Now take your elbows closer to the ground. Shoulders forwards towards your wrists. Find the point where you're shaking and you hate it. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, straighten the arms back into your downward dog again. Push the floor away. Good. Roll forward towards a plank position. Inhale. Exhale, knees to the floor, chest to the ground, that half chaturanga. Place the body to the floor. Roll the shoulders down the back, lift the chest, inhaling. Come forwards and down to the floor, exhale. Push up to all fours, breathing in. Tuck the toes, come back into that turbo dog. Elbows are bent and pulling towards each other, version of your down dog. Lift the tailbone further up to the ceiling. Come deeper into the bend of the elbows and pull the elbows towards each other. Wrap the shoulder blades even more. Really pull elbows towards each other. Good. Straighten the arms into full downward dog, and then start walking the feet up towards your hands. Come to forward fold at the top of the mat. Feet about hips distance apart, which is about one of your feet would fit between your feet, not much wider than that. Good. Take as much bend in the knees as you need to let the neck completely relax, the spine to feel relaxed. And again, notice the abdominals. If in your forward folds, they're wanting to brace outwards and push you down into the fold, just find the point where your body can dangle. It's okay if your hands are by your knees, as someone said earlier. Good. Relax into the jaw and even relax your eye line. Okay, take another inhale. And as you exhale, slowly roll yourself through to standing. So the tailbone drops down first. Keep the chin close to your chest until the rest of the spine has unraveled first. And then soften the shoulders down and place the head on top. Good. Spread the toes open. If you aren't there already, take a step to the top of the mat. Feet, again, staying hips distance apart, which is about one of your feet would fit between your feet. And spread the toes out. Good. Nice. Palms facing forwards, spread the fingers open. Okay, bring the hands forwards and up to the ceiling, active through the hands, inhale. Exhale, bring the hands forwards and down, little bend in the knees, soft fold. Now place the hands to your shins, take a half lift, reach the chest forwards. Exhale, soften back into the legs, Let the fingertips find the floor and step the right leg back behind you. Take the knee down to the mats. As you inhale, bring the hands around to the sides and up to the ceiling. Reach up. And as you exhale, bring the hands back to the floor again. Step back into plank position. Take your time to get there. Inhaling at plank. As you exhale, bring the knees to the floor and the chest to the ground. Place the body to the mat, elbows in. Roll to Cobra, shoulders down, chest lifts. Exhale, come forwards and down to the floor. Elbows stay in as you push to all fours. Inhale, tuck the toes, downward dog or turbo dog with that bend in the elbows. Stay where you are, take a deep inhale. And hug the ribcage in as you exhale. Take another deep inhale. Lift the tailbone further up as you exhale. Stay where you are, inhaling. Relax the neck as you exhale. Bring the gaze to your hands. Walk, step, shuffle, or jump the feet up towards your hands. Come back to the top of the mat and reach forwards again, long through the spine, inhaling. Soften into the legs, exhale. Take a deep bend in the knees, come to chair pose, arms reaching forwards and up as you inhale. Sink the sit bones towards your heels a bit deeper as you exhale. Pull belly to spine, not tucking the tailbone, not J-Lo bums either, halfway in between. Soften the arms then forwards in front of you and turn your biceps towards the ceiling so the shoulders soften down. You're going to reach further forwards through the fingertips so the shoulder blades are spread open. Look forwards to between the fingers. Take an inhale and sink deeper back with the hips as you exhale. There you go. Take another inhale and exhale, sink further back with the hips. Exhale. Good. Last inhale, I promise. Exhale, forward fold, lengthen up through the legs. Reach the chest forwards, inhaling. Exhale, fingertips to the floor. Step the left leg back behind you. Take the knee to the ground. Inhale, arms come around to the sides and up. Spread the fingers open. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step it back into plank position. Inhaling at plank. Exhale, knees and chest come to the ground. You can roll the shoulders down your back, lift the chest, inhaling. Really nice. Exhale, forwards and down. Pushing up to all fours, go with it, Joe, it's fine. Exhale, downward facing dog or turbo dog with the bend in the elbows. If you have the bend in the elbows, pull the upper arms towards each other. Take 2 more deep breaths. Feel the ribs squeezing in, the tailbone lifting up. Relax into the neck, relax into the jaw. Good on Zoom. Sharon, see if you can lift your tailbone further up to the ceiling. Take a bend in the knees. There you go. Good. Bring the gaze to your hands. Bend the knees. Step, walk, or jump, or shuffle your feet to your hands. And look forwards as you inhale. Exhale, deep fold into the legs. Come back into chair pose. Deep bend in the knees, arms forwards and up. Staying at chair, hands come forwards in front of you. Biceps to ceiling, palms to ceiling. Gonna bring the hands to your chest. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, your right elbow comes across to the left knee. Keep the knees hips distance apart on this one. So open the knees out. Yeah, good. Now press your elbow into your thigh and then push your thigh into your elbow as well. So you're feeling the waist switch on. Diane, just keep your right knee open as well a little bit. That's it. Good. Now hug the ribs in as you're exhaling. So you're using the core to support you here. Now see if you can stay where you are, but relax the neck down. Notice if the neck is holding your balance or your tension. It's okay if you're swearing in your mind about the pain in your legs. It's all good. You inhale, reach the hands forwards, straighten the legs out for a sec if you need to. Exhale, sink back in. Left elbow comes across to the right thigh. Good. So knees stay open. Separate your knees a bit more, Selena. Good. Sit bones stay back. Push into the leg and your leg into the arm. Now imagine your chest can reach a little bit further forward, so straighten the spine out and then relax the neck into it here again. Good. Inhale, arms reaching forwards. Forward fold as you exhale. Lengthen the chest forwards, inhale, half lift. Exhale, right leg steps back, take the knee down to the floor. Bring the arms up towards the ceiling, inhale. Now staying here, just shift the weight backwards so you're in more of a right angle with both legs. Now just watch this first rotation. I want you to feel the ribs doing the rotation again rather than just habit. So as you're exhaling, you're going to turn towards your left, opening the arms and squeezing the rib cage in. Okay, so take an inhale, reach up. And as you exhale, pull belly to spine. You might not turn as far as you think you should, or you might, or whatever. Just go as far as the ribs can take you. Now reach further out through the hands. Take a deep breath in and exhale again, belly to spine. Reach further out through those fingertips. Pull the belly to spine, almost tuck the tailbone underneath. Good. Inhale, lift up to the ceiling. Bring just your right hand down to the floor or the block, if that's more comfortable, on the inside of that foot. Now take your front foot open a bit wider. Good. Tuck the toes at the back and then option to lift up the back knee. You can keep it on the floor if that feels good. Now lean a little bit more weight into your front leg. So you're switching on through the buttock, the glutes to support you here too. Your hand that's floating above you, just bring that slightly more into your gaze. So you feel the shoulder soften a little bit. There's less pressure in the shoulder. And now allow again your head to fall asleep into it. Stay strong, let the legs support you more than your right wrist is supporting you. Let the breath support you more than the holding of the breath is bracing you. The same pose, less effort. Take another deep inhale. As you exhale, bring the left hand down to the inside of your front foot. Bring the back knee to the floor again here. Good. Just holding into this lizard pose, reaching the chest forwards. Option then to relift the back knee, but if it feels better today to keep the knee on the ground, there's no better nor worse to it. Just you decide what feels good, knee up or down. But both arms on the inside of the leg. Good. Reach the chest further forward. So think spine lengthened. Good. Really nice. Now just gently sway the body from side to side a little bit. Sway the hips side to side. Good. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, step back into your plank position. Inhale. Exhale, half chaturanga again, knees and chest to the ground, gaze forwards. Roll the shoulders back, use the strength of your back to lift the chest and pause at Cobra. It's okay if your body drops a bit lower. You're going to see if the hands can just hover off the floor, toes to the ground still. Tuck the tailbone, so glutes on, come a little bit lower in your chest, press the toes into the floor, so legs active. Squeeze glutes on, push pubic bone into the mat, try and lengthen the lower spine. Imagine your lower belly trying to lift up off the floor, so all that core work you did at the start is not for nothing. Take another inhale. Exhale, soften the chest down to the mat. Good, push up to all fours, breathing in. Tuck the toes, downward dog or turbo dog, exhale. Take a really deep breath in. Really deep exhale, relaxed in the neck, relaxed in the forehead, and you're still glad you came. Take another deep breath. Bring the gaze to the hands, step, walk, jump, or shuffle the feet up to the top of the mat. Take a half lift as you inhale, and exhale, soften into the legs. Step the left leg back behind you, and take the knee to the ground. Bring the arms around to the sides and up to the ceiling, breathing in, and then shift the weight back so you're in more of that right angle with both legs. Take a deep inhale, reach up. As you exhale, turn the shoulders towards the right, lengthen the arms out towards the sides. Now take another inhale here. Exhale, imagine you're tucking the tailbone under and squeezing the rib cage further round. Reach out through the fingertips. Again, inhale. And exhale, deepen into that rotation. Keep your front knee hugging in towards the center line of your mat. Good. Unravel the twist, lift the arms, inhaling. Exhale, just your left hand is going to come to the floor or the block underneath it if it's more comfortable. Reach up through the right hand. So the right palm is facing the way that you're looking. Good. Now bring the hand more into your vision, so more towards that side. And feel the shoulder able to roll into your back, less hunched around your ear. Take your front foot open an inch wider. Option to lift up the back knee. But either way, lean the weight more into your front leg. Again, keep that knee hugging into your chest as well. So the inner thigh and the inner hip is active. Good. Lift lower abdominals in on the exhale still. Relax into the neck. Let the head drop. Good. There's less weight in the left palm. Take another inhale. Really good. Exhale, bring the hand down to the inside of your front foot. So we come to lizard pose, back knee again, either on or off the floor as you prefer today. Okay. Either way, think chest reaching forwards. Okay, so long spine. Good. Really nice. Again, light through the hands, any movement into the hips if it helps just to soften any sense of bracing or tension, let them sway. Whatever you do, keep breathing. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, step back into plank position. Inhale. Exhale, half chaturanga, knees and chest to the ground, elbows in. Roll the shoulders back, just one breath into Cobra, lifting the chest. Exhale, come forwards and down to the floor. Pressing up to all fours, breathing in. Tuck the toes, downward dog or turbo dog. Relax the neck. Inhale fully. Exhale, squeeze the rib cage in, lift the tailbone up. Inhale fully. Exhale, relax the neck, the jaw, and the forehead. Then bring the gaze to the hands, bend the knees, step, walk, jump, or shuffle the feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, look forwards, and exhale, soften into the legs. I come back into chair pose, hands reaching forwards, biceps facing the ceiling, seeing the weight of the hips back towards the heels. You're gonna bring your hands just to your chest. You're gonna step your right leg back behind you towards warrior one. So you have one foot either side of the mat, so sort of on train track lines, and the back heel anchored to the floor. Now lift the chest up and almost tuck the tailbone under and push the hips forwards from there. So you feel more opening at the front of the right hip. Good. Just holding into it. Take your front foot forwards enough that the weight is in the heel of the foot and you can curl the toes up towards the ceiling. Good. Then sink deeper into that front thigh. Keep your right hip bone coming forwards and pushing back into the right heel. So this leg is really active. Good. Lift the hands up to the ceiling. Good. Active through the fingertips. Now soften the shoulders down. Good. Take another inhale. As you exhale, bring both hands down towards the inside of your front foot. So you can have the block under the hands if it's more comfortable. Good. Open the feet out a bit longer if you need to. Try and keep the back heel to the ground. So it's okay if the body is on a slight diagonal. Your right hand is going to kind of stay where it is. Your left hand is going to turn to walk towards the back foot. So you're trying to drop the left shoulder a little bit further down. Think shoulder towards the inside of the knee. So left shoulder to inside of knee. Good. If it's more comfortable in your back leg to lift the heel at the back, that's okay. Good. As if your right hand can walk further forwards. Good. So reach out through both arms. Try and tuck the left shoulder into the fold of the knee. Relax the neck here now. Take a deep full breath in. Deep full breath out. Pull belly to spine. And bring the hands back in line with the foot. So you come back to that lizard pose that we had in the last little sequence. Chest forwards. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, step back into plank position. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, half chaturanga, knees and chest to the ground. Roll the shoulders back, lift chest, inhaling. Come back to the floor as you exhale. Push up to all fours, breathing in. Downward dog or turbo dog as you prefer. Turbo is with the bend in the elbows, normal downward dog with arms straight. Either way, we want strong, long spine, so feel free to keep that bend in the knees if that helps you find more space in the torso. Gaze to hands, bending knees, step, walk or jump top of the mat. Take just a half lift, inhale, reach forwards, and exhale, soften it into the legs. Good. Come into chair pose, deep bend in the knees, arms reaching out. Bring the hands to the chest as you exhale. Now transfer the weight onto your right foot, so the left foot this time. steps back, so we come straight to warrior one. Heel slightly angled at the back, so the foot's on the floor. So turn the toes out a little bit. Good, then lifting the hands up to the ceiling, active through the palms, soften the shoulders down. Good, so micro bend the elbows if it helps. Good, so you left hip bone forwards, push back into the left heel, and then sink into the front heel. Can you curl the toes up at the front? Again, shift the foot forwards an inch if it helps. Good, yeah, nice. Let's take a deep breath into that. Tailbone reaching for the floor. Really good. So from here, you're gonna bring the hands forwards and down towards the inside of the front foot. Good, keep the back heel anchored, a little bit lengthen the legs out if you need to. If it's more comfortable in your back ankle or knee, you can lift the heel up if you prefer. Okay. So your left hand is going to stay where it is. Your right hand is going to walk towards the back foot. So fingertips kind of creeping towards back foot. You're trying to bring the right shoulder further in towards the inside of the front knee. Good, nice, and we're still breathing. Everyone's gone quite quiet. Relax the neck and see if your left hand can reach further forwards. Bring your hips lower towards the floor. Come deeper into it, Julie, if you can. Again, if you need to lift the back heel, that's okay. Reach further forwards through left hand, reach out through the arms. Good, nice. And then bring everything back into the inside of the front foot and step it back into plank position. Take an inhale, last flow. So exhale, knees and chest to the ground. Roll the shoulders down the back, lift the chest. And exhale, come back forwards and down to the floor. Pushing up to all fours, inhaling. Tuck the toes, downward dog or turbo dog. Last one. So if you're in turbo dog, bring the elbows closer to the floor, so maybe they're just a centimeter off the ground, and bring the upper arm bones towards each other. Find space between the shoulder blades, engagement between the shoulder blades. Nothing in the neck, nothing in the forehead. Really good. If you're in turbo dog, straighten the arms up. Take a really deep inhale through the nose and a soft sigh through the mouth as you exhale. Good. Bring the knees to the ground and sit back into a kneeling position, either on the heels or higher kneeling as you prefer. And bring the hands just to hold onto the lowest rib, kind of as far around the sides as you can, but the front of the ribs is fine. So feel for the lowest rib in the body. Now feel your breath just move into the hands. You're breathing wide and deep into the ribs, not up into the shoulders. Good. So then as you're exhaling, you can use the hands to encourage the ribs and the waistline inwards. You're kind of squeezing the abdominals into center line. Good. Take one more deep inhale. And exhale. And let the hands just soften down to your sides. Drop the hips to one side of your feet and bring the legs around in front of you. Okay, rest back into the hands and just sway your knees from one side to the other. Okay, if you want to pop any layers on, if you have a jumper or anything, feel free to do so now. And then when you're kind of ready, we're coming down onto your back and bringing the knees in towards your chest. So a little bit like an upside down child's pose, bring the big toes towards each other and just separate the knees slightly more towards your armpits. So you have space in the belly to breathe. So feet are just relaxed and dangling. And then just kind of rocking knees towards you in a way, or just find a little bit of movement that helps your lower back just release and massage into the ground. And stay long through the back of the neck. So bring the chin towards your throat, if that helps. Okay, then let the feet find the ground. And you're making your way to your Shavasana in any variation that feels most comfortable today. So classically, the legs and the arms are just out flat on the ground. So just like a starfishing yourself into the floor. If it feels more comfortable, again, if you're working with any lower back stuff going on today, then keeping the knees bent, feet to the floor might feel a bit more comfortable in your back. Okay, sure. Okay. Just see if you can tweeze the shoulder blades towards each other a little bit, find a bit more space around your chest. Again, without it being a big movement, just bring the chin slightly towards your throat so the back of the neck is long, but without that restricting the breath. So just kind of find that comfortable place in between. Without there being any force or manipulation to it as such, breathing into your belly, into the ribs, into the chest. Just notice the breath feeling smooth, silent, effortless. And perhaps still, you can just remind the body to soften into the jaw, into the eyes. Allow your focus point to rest to the center of the forehead. It's third eye space. It softens tension through the front of the mind. Third eye is our intuitive space, our wiser self, which makes sense if the mind is less tense. We can think clearly, we can see clearly. When it fits in with your breath, just allow your next inhalation to feel a little fuller and richer. Let's roll your fingers, roll the wrists, maybe rolling the ankles or just some soft movement in the body. And then reach your arms gently all the way back behind you. Find a full body stretch out, lengthen out right through the legs. Take a deep sigh or a yawn if it feels good to you. From here, either bring the knees to your chest or roll yourself over to one side. Just take your time. Bring yourself up towards a seated position again, however feels easy and comfortable to do so. Whenever you're comfortably sat, just bring the hands to the legs and reclose the eyes or bring the gaze back to the floor. And just noticing the awareness of yourself again, the physical body. Maybe noticing any shifts that have occurred from the start of the session to the end. Notice how your energy is, your mind is. And noticing any shifts that have maybe occurred. It's okay if that's nothing profound or grand, but just noting for those subtle shifts. And bring the hands together at the heart center. Give yourself a moment of thanks for committing some time to step to your mat today, to focus on you. Not always the easiest thing to do. And take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, gently bowing your head towards your hands. And with namaste, meaning that the light in me sees the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much. Well done. Awesome. Thank you, guys. And thank you, Zooms. Well done.